The economy is the single most important issue in any presidential election going back 50 or more years. So if you wanted to know the outcome of the 2008 election today, not even knowing who the candidates are likely to be, we can look at the state of the economy and we can predict, based on the fact that it is not growing at this point in time, that the Republican Party, the incumbent party, is not likely to win the 2008 election, regardless of who the parties nominate. So even in the face of war, the Vietnam War, World War II, the Korean War, any kind of international conflict, the economy is still the most important issue, and it's for one single reason. Public opinion on the economy is never divided. People prefer prosperity to decline. There are 4 cases in the last 50 years of presidential elections where the party that is predicted to win based on the economy actually loses the election. Right? These are elections in which the candidates find messages that are very broad and very appealing to voters across a range of issues. So in 1960, John Kennedy talked about the missile gap and how America was falling behind the Russians in technology, in mathematics, in all sorts of things, literature, space exploration, and that we had to catch up. We had to catch up to the Russians. And it was Richard Nixon who had presided over this slump in our productivity, and there was nothing Nixon could do to counter that. And Kennedy is able to make that more important than the economy. But those kinds of campaigns are very rare. I think in the primaries, they have very little incentive to talk about the economy other than to say to people, you know, we're going to address the situation and we're going to bring more dollars to your pockets. We rarely have debates in presidential campaigns about economic policy. We hear a lot about economic valence. You've never had it so good. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? But we rarely hear specific policy ideas discussed during presidential campaigns about the economy. So my sense is that right now the candidates are doing exactly what they'll continue to do throughout the general election, which is talk very generally and in very vague terms about how their party can deliver prosperity. So far, the Cooperative Campaign Analysis Project has been in the field twice. We did a December wave where we assessed people's baseline opinions and attitudes towards the candidates. And we are in the field right now with the January wave. And one of the interesting things about the December wave was that people thought that Hillary Clinton was a strong leader, but they didn't trust her. So it was the most extreme difference between trait ratings of any candidate. A trait rating is how well does the word honest apply to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John McCain? And then respondents can say extremely well, somewhat well, not well at all. You know, they can sort of apply that label with intensity. And most of the time, you know, you'll see a little bit of variation, but if they think John McCain is a strong leader, they also think he's honest and trustworthy. These things tend to go together. But on this one dimension, Hillary Clinton was really very different from the other candidates in terms of, you know, people thought she had strong leadership skills, but boy, they really didn't trust her. Well, California moving up in the calendar to February 5th, and the previous primaries having gone the way that they have, sort of the seesaw between two candidates in both parties, you know, it really gives California the opportunity to be quite important. All of those February 5th states, the big ones especially, will have the opportunity to influence the delegate tally in a way that could be influential or even determinative. So, you know, it could be a big year for California. Typically in the past, when candidates come to California, it's because they need checks. But now, especially if you sort of take recent history, the Schwarzenegger trajectory, the idea that Democrats might not have a strong hold on the state, it sort of opens up the opportunity for moderates or Republicans who may be a little liberal to come in and really campaign election year for votes, which is a whole new ballgame